Right, so what Gabe wanted to know was, I would never become. Was that right, Gabe? Yeah. So this is what we need to try and find out. I would never become. No, it wasn't it. It was I will, wasn't it?
I will.
Actually, I'm going to use I would anyway, right, because it suits my purpose. So the first thing I need to know is the verb that I'm trying to conjugate. And the verb that I'm trying to conjugate is become. So, first thing I do, take my dictionary and try and look this word up. It will be in there. Become. And when I go here, it tells me in there to look for verb 81. Now when I go to verb 81, in here, which is at the front, I just go through here, it says 81, venir, to come. So what first question is, why is it that I've looked up a verb and it says devenir, and then it's pointing me towards a different verb? Why has it done that? Because they conjugate in the same way. The only difference between the words venir and devenir is the fact that devenir has a de in front of it. So everything I do to this, I just add de in front of it. So it's similar in English. Alright? So, I go to verb 81 here. Let's just focus this a little bit more. Focus, and we can just about see it's venir there. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, what does that mean? If I go back here, it tells me what 1, 2, 3, 4 mean, and it means 1 is the present tense, 2 is the past participle, 3 is the imperfect, and 4 is the future. So it doesn't tell me what the conditional is. Which of those 4 do I need to use for the conditional tense? Because one of those is useful. It's the future tense that's conditional. Gabe, can you explain why it's useful to know the future tense when we're conjugating the conditional tense?
Because future, you use the future stem with the imperfect tense.
You do. So essentially, if I was to look at a regular verb, if I look at the future tense here and the conditional tense there, you can see the only difference between those two tenses is the ending that I put on it. And Gabe rightly says that the endings on conditional, etc., are exactly the same as these ones up here. Whereas this stem happens when you take off the last two letters. This one tends to, kind of leave it on. But these are regular verbs. There are irregular verbs as well. So let's have a look at être. Does the rule stay the same? If I just make it a little bit bigger, does the rule stay the same? Is this the same stem here as there? It is. So let's go back to my verb 81, which is the one that I want. And verb 81, future tense was number 4, and it says je viendrai. So what I'm going to write down is je viendrai. What do I need to do to that now? What's the first thing I need to do? Let's see if anybody... Jared. I've got to put a de in front of it. Well done. Because that now means I will become. I would never become. So what's the next thing I've got to do to that verb? Gabe? I could negate it. I'm not going to do that first. Thinking back to the maths lesson that I was in yesterday, there are certain orders of doing things, aren't there? Now we could do this here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do something to this first that I need to do. What do I need to do to that? I need to give it the conditional ending. What is the conditional ending? AIS. Right, let's just double check that. I can look at any verb to check that. So this one here, for example, look at the conditional ending. Here you can see that it's AIS. Here it's AI. So it becomes deviendrait. Then I need to negate it. If I wanted to say I would not become, how would I do that? Max? How would I say I would not become? How would I negate this to say I would not become? Ne pas. So ne pas, just surround the verb like this. So je ne deviendrai pas. I would not become. But I don't want I would not become. I want I would never become. And the simplest way to do that is to look in my booklet here on page 10 where I have my negatives, and you'll see that ne and jamais is never. So all I do is change this word and stick in jamais instead, like so. Je ne deviendrai jamais means I would never become. So that is conjugation of an irregular verb that isn't directly pointed to in a dictionary and uses the not so common negative of ne and jamais. Do you all understand that? Excellent news.